Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents The Intuitive Way, the definitive guide to increasing your awareness by Penney Peirce, narrated by Randye Kaye. Forward. If you are listening to The Intuitive Way, you can safely assume that your life is about to change radically. Your intuition, already strong and insistent, is prompting you to get ready for a new journey of discovery. Why? A purpose deep within you is steadily unfolding. This purpose is not about to let you sleep your way through this lifetime. You may have already noticed an increasing number of synchronicities that seem to indicate you are supposed to be doing something different from what you've been doing until now. You may have noticed you yearn for more meaningful activities or associations. You may have been feeling estranged from some of the old gang or thinking of leaving your occupation and striking out for something new. But what? What to do? These are the questions that many of us, in the millions now, are currently asking. You, along with other like-minded people, are awakening to your individual path, knowing without knowing that something more is being required of you. You are one of the people who was born to participate in this creatively explosive time of transformation. Trust that. It is no accident that Penney Peirce's book, The Intuitive Way, has found its publisher at this time. This book and others like it that speak to the work of the soul are born in response to the very questions currently arising in people's hearts and minds. Questions such as, what's it all about? What is the purpose of this life I've been given? How can I make the most of my time? What should I be concentrating on? Can I really make a difference? We live with these personal life questions and often feel that no one else understands these rather vague but persistent longings. What we wish most is that someone would tell us what to do. We cry out for clarity. In my own work, the most frequent question is, I know my life is changing. I can feel something new is just about to happen, but I don't know what it is. Which step am I supposed to take first? Because we are creatures of our conditioning, because we are taught to do what's expected of us, we think our answer will be found by some epiphany in the external world. We are used to taking our cues from external sources, advice from parents, spouses, friends, religious leaders and mentors, professional groups or union leaders, and playing by the rules of whatever community has authority over us. We might look at labor statistics that tell us what the hottest job markets are, or try to second-guess what the new retail trends will be so we may align ourselves with what we perceive to be powerful so that we can be powerful. This externalization of truth keeps us on a treadmill of confusion, doubt, and anxiety. We are driven by fear of not keeping up, of being left behind. In a media-driven environment, we are so brainwashed by aggressive marketing tactics that we don't even notice anymore. So inundated are we by data that is meant to make us respond with our credit cards. We are awash in motivational theories and systems for self-improvement. Our days are often indiscriminately filled with broadcasts of other people's fears, brutalities, and peccadillos. It's easy to lose ourselves. Because we are so over-marketed and trained to respond with a purchase or a pill to any of life's events, we continue to experience a queasy truce with our lives, hoping that somehow everything will turn out all right. Eventually, if we are lucky, life gets painful enough that we are forced to turn away from what we know and turn toward what we don't know. Our journey intensifies when we begin to engage the unknown and take the road less traveled. Once we become aware of our inner need for something more, something real, something that speaks to our soul, we start to ask for a different kind of nourishment. We begin to grow into our individuality. That time of individualization must be at hand for you, or this book would not have found its way to you. In listening to The Intuitive Way, you will be given the kind of nourishment that feeds your soul and asks you to trust yourself and take the unknown path. I can think of no better teacher for this material than Penney Peirce. Penney and I met synchronistically several years ago when we were both asked to be guests on a television show about intuition. We immediately hit it off. For one thing, we both shared a strong interest in the system of numerology. The focus of our friendship has always been on discussing the patterns we see in individual life stories, as well as in discovering what works in teaching metaphysical principles. More than once we have laughingly commented on being in the same soul group and appreciate being able to check out our intuitive understandings with each other. This kind of collegial relationship is precious to me. Penney and I have also co-facilitated groups on helping people develop their own application of James Redfield's Celestine Prophecy Insights, focusing on the development of intuitive guidance as the first step in living a more fulfilling life. Penney's skill in leading both beginners and advanced students down the intuitive path is exceptional. I continue to be impressed with Penney's commitment to her work and her ability to interpret complex data with simplicity and clarity so that it makes sense to people in all walks of life. Not only does Penney excel as a teacher and intuitive counselor, but she also has the ability to tune into the expanded field of evolutionary trends. For example, she invited me to attend one of her lectures on future trends, and as I was listening, I couldn't help scribbling down her forecasts and interpretations of current events. I wound up including a big section of that evening lecture in one of the chapters in the book I was currently working on with James Redfield, The 10th Insight, An Experiential Guide. I have recommended many clients to Penney for a life reading and have listened with fascination to her reports of working with clients all over the country and beyond, especially in Japan. We have discussed many times the unique qualities that appear in the psychic fabric of individuals from different cultures and have been able to see archetypal patterns working in both the collective and personal consciousness. To me, the most exciting frontier we can explore today is working with psyche and soul. The most empowering and practical tool we have already within us is the ability to receive intuitive guidance, linking it with our rational and emotional processes, and taking action based on our authentic responses to the moment. With intuition and logic working hand in hand, we can clearly see what is needed and do exactly what is required of us, rising to the occasion with inspiration and trust. Our world may be filled with questions, insecurities, and ever-changing circumstances, and it will continue to be filled with chaos until we leave this earth plane. Yet we live in a world where anything is possible. We crave to be challenged and to succeed. We want to live in the mystery. Once we shift our perspective, we can never turn back. Using our intuition, we stand poised like a deer sniffing the wind, alive, with this new way of looking inward for direction, watching for tiny clues. We see how important our relationships are to our souls and to each other. We realize that not only can we make a difference in the world, but this is the real reason we were born. When we grasp the paradox that nothing is fixed and ordained, nor is it random and accidental, we have made the shift into truly living our mission. We begin to see that our role is to engage with life, to participate, to enjoy and have fun. We are born to create and to use the details of our lives as our artistic medium. In the midst of this wonderful, unpredictable life, we always have our inner guidance, the inborn navigational field that God intends for us to use. We are never alone. We are always in direct contact with our inner source. This is true whether we are driving in the car, doing higher mathematics, rocking our baby, painting the kitchen, or sleeping in a subway station. All we have to do is tune in. Let your adventure with intuition begin. Carol Adrian. Getting the most from this book. There is only one journey. Going Inside Yourself. Rainer Maria Rilke. The Benefits of Active Intuition. Marcus has had a fascinating life, and he credits this to his little voice, which he says has piped up in an unavoidable way at key times, telling him first as a teenager during World War II to leave his family, ride his bicycle across the German border at night, and flee to Canada. He worked as a scenic carpenter in Canada until his little voice told him to start carving sculptures from wood and showed him just what shapes to make. Then it told him to open an art gallery, which became quite successful. Next, his inner voice told him to study psychology, and as he completed his university studies and developed a thriving practice, his voice commanded him, "Go to California." Today, he uses his intuition actively in his work as a therapist and can't imagine what his life would have been like without it. Though it didn't always make sense to his logical mind, Marcus could hear the voice of his own intuition and was willing to take the risks involved in trusting it. So many people I speak with tell a different story, how they didn't listen to their inner voice, follow their hunch, or try to manifest the vision they got in a dream, and how they almost immediately became snagged, took a turn for the worse, became depressed or sick, or even lost a valuable situation or possession. This seems to be such a common experience that people joke about overriding or second-guessing their intuitions. When will I ever learn, they say, rolling their eyes toward heaven? Lee, one of my students, tells me almost incredulously that she has just realized when I sense something strange is going on, it usually is. And if I keep feeling funny about a situation, if it keeps coming up again and again, I'm starting to believe it does need to be attended to. Lee has learned the hard way to trust her bodily felt intuitions. She grew up in a family where she learned to override her gut instinct and do what was expected, even if she didn't want to, even if it went against her best interests. In fact, she never knew what her best interests were. Now, after years of unconsciously sacrificing much potential joy, she is learning to recognize the subtle sensation in her body that tells her, "I don't want to do this," and actually have it be okay to go against her shoulds. Her intuition is waking up, and she admits it's both exciting and scary to dare to become more of her true self. Whether you're tuned into your intuition as Marcus was, or learning to listen to it in new ways like Lee, the intuitive way of life offers you many benefits. You'll learn to slow down, be present, and pay attention to the amazingly wise process of your experience. You'll develop a positive, life-enhancing attitude. Your natural talents will be revealed. You'll become more alert and aware of detail and nuance. You won't waste time and energy on inappropriate thoughts and actions. You'll find and stay in touch with your life purpose and lessons. You'll be better able to understand your spiritual path. Your creativity and imagination will increase. You'll experience more grace, synchronicity, good luck, and even miracles. You'll manifest your dreams in less time than ever before. You'll have more confidence and personal power. As you prepare to begin. To receive the greatest benefits from this book, it helps to start the journey with the best intuitive attitude. Truly successful students possess a natural beginner's mind and can temporarily suspend what they know to listen, act, receive, and process new data with childlike innocence and directness. With a beginner's mind, you will not be threatened by not knowing or by having personal experiences that vary from the norm. You'll feel fresh and sincere. You'll trust yourself, trust the process of learning, and trust that whatever you need next will be revealed in a way you can understand. Like children, students with a beginner's mind are truly full of themselves in the best way and don't question the appropriateness of their observations and creations. They stay open to learning and expressing themselves because it feels good. As you begin, look at the basic attitudes you bring to this experience. Are you optimistic or pessimistic? An optimist, when turned down for a job or rejected by a lover, naturally finds a way to interpret the experience as a benefit. Pessimists, on the other hand, use the setback as an excuse to revalidate their negative views about life. When working with the intuitive process, a pessimistic attitude can kill the flow of information and energy. Beware of unnecessary negativity. On the other hand, needing things to be positive can lead to gullibility, which allows intuition to flow but can prevent you from discriminating what's practical from what's titillating. We need a little skepticism to temper our openness. Without common sense, intuition can turn to delusion. Yet, without optimism, it's difficult for intuition to occur at all. No pessimist ever discovered the secrets of the stars, or sailed to an uncharted land, or opened a new heaven to the human spirit. Helen Keller. Attitude Assessment. Imagine a thermometer with markings from 1 to 10. 10 indicates the highest response, 1 the lowest. Ask your inner mind to give you a reading on the following questions. Take the first answer you get and write it in your journal. 1. When presented with new information, how readily do you accept the ideas as presented? 2. Do you first check with your own inner sense of things when judging the validity of new information? 3. How much do you need answers to be positive? 4. How skeptical are you about new information? Are you willing to suspend your preconceived ideas about intuition and slip into a beginner's mind? Are you willing to become a child again, fascinated with perception and learning, engrossed with the magic of creating something new and original? Are you willing to receive the experiences your soul wants to facilitate in you as a result of following the material in this book without demeaning them or yourself in any way? The more open you are to surprises, the more fun you'll have with the intuitive process. At the same time, the more honest you are with yourself, the higher your accuracy level will be. Are you willing to know what might block the clear running waters of your intuitive insight? Are you willing to examine both the highs and lows of your experience, looking for the hidden gifts in the garbage? A natural progression of steps. Intuition is spontaneous and free-form, but there is an orderliness to the development of intuitive skill, a natural progression of insights that allows an easy, fluid integration of nonlinear, holographic perception with our more familiar, linear, logical, hierarchical way of perceiving. This book is organized to guide you through that sequence. The text is divided into 3 parts. 1. Creating a clear lens. Recognizing the intuitive process. Choosing the intuitive worldview. Living in alignment with the creation cycle, unlocking the secrets of your subconscious mind. 2. Accessing subtle information, becoming aware of the invisible, hearing your body talk. 3. Making intuition useful, harnessing dreams and imagination, receiving superconscious guidance, applying intuition in everyday life. Staying in the natural flow. The first phase of the intuition development process focuses on creating a clear lens. If your binoculars are dirty or covered by a cap, no matter how fantastic the view, you won't enjoy it or benefit from it. Where intuition is concerned, a clear lens means a clear mind. To aid you in becoming lucid, Chapter 1 helps you recognize the ways you've been using intuition and how you may have resisted expanding your intuition. It also identifies intuitive abilities you might develop. Chapter 2 takes you further, helping you understand how your attitudes and worldview influence the flow of your perception and what you will allow to become real in your life. You'll begin to learn about the intuitive number 3 and about the 3 parts of your mind and how to shift your viewpoint and therefore your reality from one part of your mind to another at will. Chapter 3 models for you the ideal, frictionless, optimally creative use of your awareness. It shows you how to flow intuitively with the current of your own cycle of creation and how to recognize the intuitive signals that indicate a backward flow. Chapter 4 takes you on the hero's journey, helping you deal with the inevitable bumps and distortions you'll encounter along the intuitive way. It provides you with a simple procedure for transforming negativity into intuitive insight. Once you're able to create and maintain mental clarity, the second phase of intuition development prepares you to access intuitive information. Chapter 5 teaches you techniques for becoming receptive and neutral and for maximizing your sensitivity to subtle information. Chapter 6 takes you into your body, where intuitive information first makes itself known and helps you increase your ability to access and interpret nonverbal sensory information. In the third phase of the intuitive development process, we'll practice using intuition in a variety of ways. Chapter 7 helps you trust and build your imagination and use it to generate and interpret symbols and imagery, one of the main languages of intuition. You'll learn techniques for expanding your dreams. Chapter 8 teaches you to use your intuition to acquire clear guidance for yourself and others. Chapter 9 helps you apply your intuition in improving communication, making decisions, enhancing creativity, healing yourself, and manifesting what you need. Finally, Chapter 10 gives you tips on avoiding common pitfalls along the intuitive way and maintaining your newfound clarity. The highest way asks nothing hard. Sang Tsan. What often happens on the journey? Beginning the process of intuition development is like putting a canoe in a river with some exciting white water downstream. You intend to shoot the rapids and come out into a broad, gently flowing section of water you've heard exists somewhere ahead. First, you check that your equipment is in tip-top shape. You launch your craft and put your paddle in the water. You practice your strokes in an easy section of the river, then gradually proceed downstream toward the unknown. The current carries you, and if you pay attention, it guides you around the rocks. You learn to read the ripples. As you enter the rapids, you must surrender your fears and draw upon the wisdom in your body, becoming one with the flow of the river. You are so involved with the endeavor that time seems to stop. As you emerge from the first set of rapids, you've learned something about yourself. But there's an even bigger challenge up ahead. Get ready, get centered, here you go again. The intuitive way will launch you on a journey through new territory. As you complete the work in each chapter, you'll synchronize yourself with a universal process. Just as each adventurer goes through the same sequence of rapids and bends in the river, so you'll naturally enter the next phase of the intuitive process, and the next, and the lessons will feel timely and uncannily relevant to what's happening in your life. Each chapter discusses a specific theme, and as you proceed through the material, your life will come to epitomize these themes. Each person making a river run carves his or her unique groove down the channel, through the sequences of rough and smooth waters. Similarly, you will find your passage through the intuitive development process to be purely your own. Please don't measure yourself against anyone else. Coincidence and synchronicity. As your life falls into alignment with the stages of growth outlined in this book, you may notice an increase in coincidences and synchronicity in your life. You'll see odd repetitions of phrases, symbols, events, and motifs, just as I was continually reminded of the luck dragon. One week, everyone you know will be experiencing fatigue and sleeplessness. The next week, they'll be talking about people they know who've suddenly married. Maybe you'll see someone with a bouquet of balloons twice in 1 week, and you'll see an image of balloons in a magazine. What does it mean? Maybe a friend will ask you why you think she has developed heel spurs. You intuitively respond, because you've been digging your heels in. The next day, a man you've never met, describing his job situation, says, "I dug my heels in and refused to be transferred overseas." You hadn't heard the phrase for years, and now you hear it twice in 2 days. Why? The mystery is starting to talk to you. Take note. There are only 2 ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. Albert Einstein. Your wish is our command. You may also notice it takes less time for your insights and wishes to manifest as reality. No sooner had you said you'd like to take French lessons than a French woman phones, a friend of a friend who is in town, and wonders if you have time for lunch. Or you have vague misgivings about a business partner, and the next week you find he's been secretly organizing a hostile takeover of your company. Maybe you're a counselor who's been so busy seeing clients that you silently wish for more quiet time to work on projects at home. The next week, the phone hardly rings, and you wonder where all the people went. Your negative beliefs and behaviors may reveal themselves to you as well. You gossip about a friend and are found out instantly. You lose patience with a slow checkout clerk and that afternoon are reprimanded by your boss for not being productive enough. The more you ask for guidance from your soul and act on your intuition, the more your outer life will show itself to be a direct result of your inner thoughts, beliefs, and commands. Pandora's box opens wide. Though you might hope that opening your intuition will bring only sweetness and light, you'll probably dip briefly into the mud before winging your way to the heights. As you progress through the chapters and ask for more truth, more love, more reality, everything that is not true for you anymore, everything that has outgrown its usefulness, everything that is illusory will rise from your deep subconscious to the surface of your conscious mind. These old ideas will appear in 2 ways. They will be obsessive, anxiety-producing thoughts that cycle around and around in your brain, or they will occur as actual situations or events that symbolize the beliefs you're coming to grips with. These are the rapids that you must navigate with full presence and attention, and it's absolutely normal. The materials in chapters 2 through 4 will help you deal with this part of the process and travel through any turbulence you encounter. Perhaps you've been frustrated by feeling relatively invisible. As you open your intuition and the quality of your insights becomes clearer, you will gain the power that comes from being authentic. This energy of truth and loyalty to yourself always attracts attention. People start to notice you, both those who appreciate and praise you, and those who are envious or even afraid of you. You may find you're dealing with people who want unreasonable things from you or who betray you out of jealousy. Can you keep going without collapsing into the sinkhole of ego, disappointment, or anger? A ballerina once told me that if she falls at a critical moment in her performance, though humiliated and shocked, she has no time for self-indulgent behavior. The only relevant question to ask is, what's next? The monkey mind scurries, chatters, and leaps. As you enter the intuitive process, if your beginner's mind is not in place, you'll be tempted to bargain with your soul. You might say, if I trust you, you'd better give me some important stuff, or else I'll return to my old way of thinking where I never recognize you. Or, if I open up, don't you dare give me scary information or anything ugly. I'll only accept information from ascended masters and angels. Of course, this approach is bound to attract what you resist. Trust can't be conditional. As you receive insights and guidance, you may be tempted to look the gift horse in the mouth. You may find your inner skeptic emerging from the shadows. You may be besieged by a barrage of yes buts. Yes, I did get a sense that I should tell Peter about my dream, but my intuition should have shown me that it was a precognitive dream. How was I supposed to know? Or, okay, I asked a question and received an answer, but it's not a very good answer. Or, yes, I want to do the exercises in my diary, but I don't have time. Or, yes, I did gain insight about how to solve my problem, but it's probably just a projection from my mind. Or, Yes, I asked, but I didn't get anything. See, it doesn't work for me. Watch out for too much internal dialogue and static-producing self-talk.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?